Hi, I'm the Smoking Elk, and today we are making beef feather blade barbacoa. So a couple of firsts for me today. The first time cooking with feather blade and the first time making barbacoa. Now my butchers, Philip Warren Butchers, sent me this beautiful bit of feather blade, and I said to him, what's your favourite way to cook it? And he said treat it nice and low and slow, maybe braise it until those connective tissues, the muscle fibres start to break down and your beef ends up tender and falls apart. So I immediately thought of barbacoa. So I'm going to get this trimmed up and I'm going to show you how we're going to make my barbacoa. So this feather blade here has got a bit of a fat cap, so we're going to start with trimming this off. And you'll notice here there's a fair bit of silver skin, so we're also going to trim that away because that's just going to end up contracting. It's going to be sinewy, chewy. We don't want that, so we're going to trim this fat off, this silver skin off, and then we're going to season it up. So that's the fat cap removed, and there was quite a bit of really tough, thick, leathery silver skin. So we've removed that as well. So that's the top side. I'm just going to flip it over to the other side, and there's not really any trimming that needs to be done this side. So now I'm going to cut this into some smaller pieces, just so we've got a bit more surface area for the seasoning and for that smoke to adhere to. So I'm just going to chop this into some manageable pieces and get it seasoned up. That's the meat seasoned, so let's set that aside and then crack on with our sauce. So I talked about us wanting to impart as much smoky flavour as possible. Another way of doing this is with these chipotle chilies in adobo sauce. Now these are jalapenos that have been smoked, dried, and then put in this lovely adobo sauce. So we're going to take 3 of these with some of the sauce, put it in the blender. 1, 2, and 2.5. Ah, there we go. 3.5. Chipotle chilies, and some of that sauce is in there as well. So that's that. To that, I've got 5 cloves of garlic that I'm just going to smash and add to the blender. So we'll just smash those to give those a peel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just peel those and chuck them in. We're just going to loosen that with a bit of beef stock, about 50-60 ml. In there, and now let's blend this up just to get us a nice thick consistency. Make sure that garlic's all blended down before we put the rest of the ingredients in there. So in that goes and blend. So we've got a nice thick paste in there now. What we're going to do now is we're going to go in. I've got this Mexican oregano, so we're going to go in with about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half of that. Cumin, again, about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. Then we've got about 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. A little secret ingredient, tajin or tahin, not sure how you pronounce it, but this is a kind of Mexican seasoning that consists of chilies, salt and lime. So that's going to complement what we're looking to do perfectly. So I'm going to go in with some of that as well. We'll probably go in with about a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of that. We've got the rest of this beef stock here. In total, we've got about 500 ml of beef stock. So get that in there. Now, I'm not going to season it with salt and pepper. This tahin has got salt in, and also we season the beef with the salt and pepper. So we don't want to make it too salty. We can always add more salt at the end if it needs it. So there's the rest of our sauce ingredients in there. And again, just blend. So that's the beef prepared, that's the sauce prepared. Today I'm cooking in my Kamado Joe Classic 3. We've put a couple of firelighters in there to bring the fire nice and slowly up to temperature, and I've also gone in there with a couple of chunks of orange wood. We've got the accessory rack in the middle position where the Dutch oven is going to sit, and then the grill grates are going to sit above that with the meat on that. I've opened up the top vent all the way and the bottom vent all the way to bring it up to temperature. We're going to be cooking this today at around about 140 Celsius, which is about 275, 280 Fahrenheit. So let's head over to there and start building our dish. So we're over at the Kamado Joe. In here, we have got our fire on the go. We've got our orange wood chunks smoking away nice and cleanly. We've got our Petromax cast irons Dutch oven in there. So the first thing we're going to do is get that sauce into the Dutch oven, and then we're going to get our grill grates over the top, and then we're just going to take our feather blade and we're just going to sit that over the top of that Dutch oven. So all those juices are going to drip down into the Dutch oven while it's taking on that beautiful smoky flavour from the orange wood in there. So just get that, make sure it's all directly over the Dutch oven. Another piece there, and another piece there. So that's it. We're just going to leave that now for 2, maybe 3 hours. We will check on it in about an hour's time just to make sure that sauce is okay. Remember, we're cooking it at a nice low temperature, about 130, 140 Celsius. So that should just simmer away really gently under the beef while the beef drips down into it, getting all those beautiful smoky flavours. This is going to be beautiful. So that's it. Let's pop the lid back down and I'll see you again shortly. Okay, so the meat has been in for nearly 3 hours now. It's taken on plenty of smoke. It's taken on all the smoke it's going to take on now. So we're going to get it off the grates, get the grates off, put the meat into the sauce, give it a good stir, pop the lid back on, and then let it finish probably for another couple of hours, but we'll keep checking on it. We want the beef to literally just fall apart in that sauce. I've just had a quick peek and we are ready. It's taken just under 3 hours of taking on that lovely orange smoke, and then we put the meat into the sauce with the lid on for about another 2, maybe 2.5, maybe 3 hours, who's counting? But anyway, I've just had a little check and it's ready. And by ready, I'm going to take you in a bit closer and show you what I mean and how we check to see whether it's ready. So let's get in, get that lid off, get a spoon and show you. So this is how I know it's ready. We're going to take a spoon and we're just going to put it in that beef like that, and it's just going to shred, fall apart, melt, whatever you want to call it, just like that. We can just pick it up with a spoon like so. So that is done. So now what we're going to do is just shred all of this beef up into that sauce, and then we're going to taste it for seasoning. We're probably going to put a squeeze of lime in there, and then we're just going to taste it. If we need a bit of salt, we're going to stick some salt in. We're just going to taste it, get it nicely balanced. But that is smelling amazing. That's our barbacoa. So that was a total cook time of around 6 hours, 3 hours of smoke, 3 hours in the sauce for that beef. And now we come to my favourite part of the video. We get to eat it. So let's take this lid off and we're going to show you exactly how we've done. So remember, feather blade is a cut that needs cooking nice and slow. Break down all those collagens, connective tissue, muscle fibres, and you end up with something like this. Just shredded beef in that lovely smoky sauce. We've got the smokiness that we've got on the beef. We've got the chipotle in there. Now this, you can use in wraps and tacos, stick it on some rice. The world is your oyster with this. I'm gonna stick it on some tacos. So we're gonna just make a quick taco now. Just have a quick taste, see how we've done. But the smell is unreal. Now you can make this as simple or as complicated as you want. You can stick a bit of pico de gallo on there, a bit of salsa. I'm just going to take one of these tacos. I'm going to take, sometimes I like to put cheese on, but I haven't grated any, so we're just going to go with some of this barbacoa in a taco. And then we're going to go with some pickled jalapenos. So we're just going to chuck a couple of those in there and a bit of sour cream. That's it for this one, for this little taster, just to see how we've done. There we go, just get that in there. I'm pretty excited. Let's just stick a little bit more in there just for luck. Oh yes. I'm just going to wrap that up, stick it in my gob. That's worth the wait. You've got proper smokiness in there. Obviously from that orange smoke, from the chipotles, the orange wood has worked well. We put some lime at the end just to kind of balance it all out. And then you put this in with the taco with those pickled jalapenos for a bit of acidity, the sour cream. Oh, that is an absolute winner. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. This just tastes incredible. So I'm going to take this inside. I'm sure there's going to be a few of these get eaten. There's going to be some cheese grated on it. There's going to be all sorts going on in there. Just mixing it up, seeing what works best. Some of this we'll probably see some vac pack bags, and we'll vacuum seal it and save it for tacos for another night, or save it for other dishes. But that is an absolute winner. So that is my barbacoa on the smoking out. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you again next week.